Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Commentary Hub's alternative audio coverage of the Community Shield from Wembley Stadium. I'm your alternative host, Nicholas Jones, and it is a repeat of the FA Cup final back in May. Manchester United against Manchester City. Manchester City out for revenge after losing 2-1 to Manchester. After losing 2-1 to Manchester United, and alongside me, I have Paul James. Paul, the traditional curtain raiser to the Premier League, and if memory serves me correctly, this is the first time that the same teams who played in the FA Cup final have played in the Community Shield. Can't seem to hear Paul James at the moment. We appear to be having some problems, which is funny because I was able to hear him earlier, and unfortunately, I have no idea I have no idea what's wrong. What a way to start the season. We'll try and get Paul in just for a moment or two. Anyway, he's just gone off. We'll wait for him to return. We'll just wait for him to come back. I do apologize about this, everybody. I really do. I was not expecting the season to start off like this. And we're going to see if we can try and fetch Paul back in. Paul, sorry about the difficulties. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What a start to the season.
Yes.
Yes. It's. I'm all good now.
Okay, so as I was about to ask you, am I correct in saying that that this is the first Community Shield to have the same two teams that have played in the that have played in the same cup final?
I believe so.
Okay, glad we got that out of the way. So the traditional curtain raiser to the Premier League, a lot riding on it. Can Manchester City start off as they meant to continue after they won the Premier League? Will Manchester United be able to add more to their success after having had things come together recently under the new ownership of Sir Jim Ratcliffe?
Well, quite possibly, Nick. I mean, it's they've put together a pretty decent couple of signings. Now, of course, one of the signings today is not available today with a foot injury, and that is Lenny Oro with a 62 million euro signing from Los Galil. However, Joshua Zhirkey is on the bench. The signing from Bologna, 42.5 million euro. So they're looking to add some extra, a little bit of weight behind the attack and around the centre back position. But it should be interesting because we have seen some outgoings as well. They've been quite. It's worth noting they've been quite brutal on the outgoings. William Kwamboala, 10 million. Alvo Saras, 6 million. Donny van der Beek, 500,000. The most expensive release, of course, has been Mason Greenwood, who's joined Marseille. In total, the expenditure has been 104.5 million euro. Internally, they've received 42.5 million euro in revenue on sales. So they've spent 62 million as a net amount this transfer window so far, and they may very well not be done. There are certain rumours surrounding Matthijs de Ligt, Ivan Toney, and Sander Berg at Burnley, of course, and Richard Rios as well, a Colombian. They may well not be done, Manchester United, in terms of their transfers.
And I was also about to ask just now, will a win for Manchester United give Erik ten Hag more confidence in regards towards his future?
Well, it's a charity shield. I always consider this game to be the teams that are participating in it. You want to step a foot in the right direction. I don't think it's good to be in. I mean, some people will still consider this to be a pre-season friendly. I don't agree with that. I think it's important that the teams like Manchester City and Manchester United get their foot in the right direction. I think both sides will want to win this pretty bad today.
So we are now just a few minutes away from the start of the Community Shield, as we now let Paul take you through the lineups for both Manchester City and Manchester United.
Thank you, Nick. Yes, so it's a curtain raiser for the 2024-2025 season. These two teams, of course, met in the Cup final, with Manchester City winning the league, Manchester United winning the FA Cup. From that FA Cup final, there's only 3 survivors on the Manchester City team that actually start today. Erling Haaland, Josko Gvardiol, and the other one is Mateo Kovacic. For Manchester United, well, they have 5 survivors from that FA Cup victory. Goalkeeper Andre Onana, Diogo Dalla, Lisandro Martinez, Kobe Mainoo, and Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes are the survivors from that victory over Manchester City. Well, looking at the starting lineups for Manchester City, Ederson returns in goal from an eyeball injury. Defence, Ruben Diaz, the captain, Manuel Akanji, Rico Lewis, Josko Gvardiol. Across midfield, Mateo Kovacic, Oscar Bob, James McAtee, Nico O'Reilly making his debut today, Jeremy Doku, number 11 there, and Erling Haaland, of course, no need for introductions there. For Manchester United, well, they have Andre Onana in goal, Diogo Dalla, Harry Maguire, Johnny Evans, Lisandro Martinez, Casemiro, Amad Diallo, Kobe Mainoo, Bruno Fernandes, the captain. Mason Mount gets a rare start today, and Marcus Rashford makes up the starting 11. The substitutes for Manchester City, well, they have 2 goalkeepers on the bench, Scott Carson and Stefan Ortega, Nathan Ake, Kevin De Bruyne, Issa Kabore, who's still nursing an injury, Mateus Nunes, Calvin Phillips, Savio, the new signing, was brought in for 25 million euros from Troyes. He's on the bench today. And also Bernardo Silva. For Manchester United, as mentioned earlier, on the bench, they're missing their most expensive summer signing, and that's Lenny Oro. He's got a foot injury. But on the bench for Manchester United does consist of Joshua Zirkzee, 42.5 million euros. And the rest of the Manchester United bench is as follows, with Altay Bayindir being the backup goalkeeper, Anthony, Toby Collier, Christian Eriksen, and Alejandro Garnacho, Scott McTominay, rumoured to be on the way to Fulham, Facundo Pellistri, and Jadon Sancho. Our referee today is also a backup. John Brooks injured and unable to officiate this game, so stepping in his place is Jared Gillett, age 37, from the Gold Coast in Australia. His 2 assistants are Adrian Holmes and Nick Greenhalgh. Sam Barrett is the 4th official. The VAR is Peter Banks, Tim Robinson, and Sean Massey Ellis. The record between the two teams is that they have met 193 times. Manchester City have won 61. There's been 53 draws. Manchester United with 79, who still, despite the success for Manchester City in the last 15 years, still one more in this fixture. And they're about to get the game underway with Bruno Fernandes attacking the goal to our left. They are in the red shirts, black shorts and black socks. Manchester City in their sky blue shirts, white shorts and white socks, as the ball is played long over the top there. And it's picked up at the back and goes back to the goalkeeper. And Manchester United, well, they are looking to get this game going, but at the moment I just have some technical issues. Let's see if we can get that fixed for you. Okay, here we go. And it's picked up here by Ruben Diaz. It gives the ball to Josko Gvardiol. Gvardiol plays the ball long. Chasing it is Jeremy Doku down the left-hand side. But coming up at the back there is Harry Maguire just to pick up that ball and return it to Andre Onana. I want to thank you very much for joining us today. Media, Radio, Jingles and Gaming says, hi, Paul and Nick. Hope everyone, hopefully you get entertaining football is back. So we'll see how that all plays out. Nick will also have the Championship and League Two scores for you at half-time and the latest League One scores. But for the moment, it's now back with Andrea Onana. Gives the ball there to Diallo. Diallo just plays it across there to Harry Maguire. It's infield to Kobbie Mainoo. Kobbie Mainoo just trying to skip away from Erling Haaland. He drops the ball back there to Johnny Evans, who plays it forward to Marcus Rashford. It goes back to Evans now, and it's picked up by Casemiro to Harry Maguire, and Maguire goes back to the goalkeeper, and Andre Onana just plays it short here to Johnny Evans. Evans now gives the ball to Bruno Fernandes. Manchester United pinned back in their own half right now. It's back with the goalkeeper Andre Onana. Manchester United not able to really break out of their own half at the moment. Manchester City applying a very early press. Here is Johnny Evans, midway inside his own half of the field. Holds the ball up and he gives the ball to Harry Maguire, who once again has to go back to the goalkeeper. Pressing forward there is James McAtee, making a nuisance of himself early on. Goes back to the goalkeeper there off Casemiro. And the ball is played long by Onana. It's won in the air by Rico Lewis, but he almost loses possession of the ball. In fact, he does to Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes now has the ball and he just plays it off the Manchester City player there. It goes back to Manuel Akanji, who returns it back to Ederson, who's come back off the injury list. Of course, he missed the FA Cup final, and he is looking to come back. He's also rumoured to be on the way to the Saudi League as well at the moment, Ederson. There's certainly rumours floating around that he may be on his way. And Manchester City looking at a few different goalkeepers themselves. One or two, basically, one Brazilian, in fact. And that is Michael from Atletico Paranaense. And the other goalkeeper that they were looking at was Andre Lunin as well. He was being looked at from Real Madrid. So watch this space. There's still quite a bit of time to go in the transfer window. As here's Manuel Akanji. Akanji drops the ball back there to Diaz. Diaz goes long over to the left-hand side to Jeremy Doku. Doku drop the ball back there to Gvardiol. Gvardiol gives the ball away, and it's cleared forward that time by Lisandro Martinez, but only picked up here by Ruben Diaz, midway inside his own half of the field. He slips the ball to Mateo Kovacic. Kovacic down the right-hand side, and it's picked up here by the number 52, Oscar Bob. He drops it back to Manuel Akanji. Akanji goes for the long ball over to the left-hand side. Brilliant ball and brought down on the chest by Doku, but it just slips away from him. And here's Amad Diallo, and the ball goes out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in just inside the Manchester United half for Manchester City, starting as they mean to go along the citizens here. It's now with Ruben Diaz again, and he gives the ball to Akanji. Down the right-hand side to Oscar Bob. Bob drops the ball back towards the halfway line to Manuel Akanji, and back into his own half to Ruben Diaz. Diaz inside the centre circle, plays the ball forward there to Oscar Bob, and drops the ball back into his own half of the field. It's played forward there by Diaz, but it's cleared away by Johnny Evans back into the Manchester City half, and it goes all the way through to the goalkeeper, Ederson. And he releases it to Ruben Diaz. Diaz just gives the ball there to Akanji. Akanji drops the ball back to Diaz. Diaz goes long over to the left-hand side. This time, Josko Gvardiol is up there. Gvardiol holds the ball up, drops it back towards the halfway line, and forward again, this time to McAtee. Back to Gvardiol. Gvardiol tries to find Ruben Diaz, and Ruben Diaz leaves it as Ederson comes out to collect that. And Mason Mount there. It's a rare start for him today. It's played into the centre circle, and now here's Manuel Akanji. Akanji plays the ball down the right-hand side here to Rico Lewis. Lewis drops the ball back into his own half of the field and across to Josko Gvardiol. And it's a good ball down the left-hand side to Jeremy Doku. Doku now, he's got in front of him here, he's got the number 20, Diogo Dalla. Dalla deals with Doku very, very well there and wins the ball back. Plays the ball forward, but it's given away to Rico Lewis. And Lewis returns the ball to Doku, but it is a bad ball and it goes out of play. And it will be a throw-in to Manchester United midway inside their own half of the field. We've had 7 minutes gone here in the curtain raiser to the 2024-25 season. The Community Shield, Manchester City 0, Manchester United 0. As we take a look at the assistant for Manchester City there, it looks pretty animated right now. Having a word with Pep Guardiola. The throw-in taken quickly, but it's being unable to control by Kobbie Mainoo, and Oscar Bob now has the ball. He's on a run, is Bob. Can he find Haaland? It's switched back there with the number 25, excuse me, with the number 25 Manuel Akanji, but the ball is given away, and now Manchester United can break away. And the ball is played forward that time by Kovacic, and it goes back into the Manchester United half, which is launched long downfield by Harry Maguire, and unable to keep the ball in play. It was Marcus Rashford, and it goes out for a throw into Manchester City, and it's taken quickly. And here's Ruben Diaz. I want to thank you for joining us here. Please feel free to comment in the comment section. If there's any Manchester United fans, Manchester City fans, feel free to drop in your predictions for this game. As the ball is played long, and it's picked up here by James McAtee. McAtee just drops it back to Gvardiol. Gvardiol infield here to Oscar Bob. And that's, to Rico Lewis. Now it's out to Oscar Bob down the right-hand side. Oscar Bob forward to Lewis. Getting across there, though, making the challenge was Marcus Rashford, and putting it behind for the first corner of the game with 8.5 minutes gone. And Manchester City are going to have their first corner of the game right in front of those Manchester United fans behind that goal. It's to be taken on the right-hand side, and it's going to be taken by Oscar Bob. And it looks like he is going to swing this one in. And in that 6-yard box is Erling Haaland, lurking with intent. It's swung in, and Gvardiol gets a header on it. I don't know if he got the last touch. It might have come off Darrow. Let's take a look. It's swung in there. Yes, it looks like it might have even come off Casemiro there. And it'll be a corner for Manchester City, the second one again from the right-hand side. And again, Oscar Bob is going to take it. He's going to swing this one in as Erling Haaland is in there. Cross coming in. It's just headed out there by Maguire and headed down by by Diallo to Johnny Evans. And Johnny Evans clears the ball forward. Diallo wins it back very, very well. What a good job he did trying to keep the ball in play. But I think the referee has pulled it up. It might have even gone out of play. He chased this one down. It looked a complete lost cause. And it looks like there was a foul there on the number 82 for Manchester City, Rico Lewis. And the ball is now with Manuel Akanji. He's just inside his own half of the field, down the right-hand side. He plays the ball forward there for number 75 there, Nico O'Reilly. The ball is played forward to James McAtee now down the left-hand side. He's got overlapping there. He's got Jeremy Doku. He finds Doku, and it's dropped back to Gavardiel, to Ruben Diaz, back to Josko Gavardiel. Mason Mount in front of him. He holds the ball back there and gives it to Ruben Diaz. Ruben Diaz inside the centre circle across to Manuel Akanji. Akanji holds the ball up. He's going to go long, Manuel Akanji. He's looking for Jeremy Doku. Is the speedy Doku going to get there? No, that's even a bit too far for him to reach. And it goes behind for a goal kick. And we've had 10 minutes gone here. It's Manchester City 0, Manchester United 0. As we take a look at Erik ten Hag. Thoughtful for Ten Hag today. He's looking at what options he's going to be able to bring to Manchester United this season and hoping that it's going to be a much more competitive season for the Reds. The Red Devils, as Johnny Evans now just under pressure here from Rico Lewis. It goes behind for a corner. And, it's given away by Johnny Evans. And that corner now gives City another chance. It's taken quickly. And here's O'Reilly. He swings the ball in. It's headed out comfortably, though, by Bruno Fernandes. And it's now with Gavardiel. Gavardiel drops it back to Rico Lewis. Lewis to Manuel Akanji. Down this right-hand side to Bob. Bob just skips away from Marcus Rashford. Bob, corner of the penalty area now. He turns inside. He pulls it across there to O'Reilly. But O'Reilly is dispossessed there by Casemiro, but O'Reilly does well to win the ball back, and he drops the ball in the centre of midfield there, and it's dropped down to the right-hand side now to James McAtee. Switch from the left to the right for the moment. He gives it to Oscar Bob. Drop back to Manuel Akanji. Manuel Akanji down to Oscar Bob to James McAtee. McAtee attacking Lisandro Martinez. He swings it towards the back post, but it goes behind for a goal kick. And Manchester United, it just goes behind. And it's going to be a goal kick to Manchester United as we take a look at this one more time. He was just skittled inside Marcus Rashford, Oscar Bob, showing how very quick he is with his footwork on the ball there. Of course, if the game is level at the end of 90 minutes, it will go directly to a penalty shootout. It will not go to extra time. For those of you not aware, it's Harry Maguire now. He's going to take the goal kick. He just drops it back to Andre Onana. And Onana, on being closed down by Erling Haaland, he gives the ball to Johnny Evans, and it's switched forward here now to Kobbie Mainoo. Good challenge there, though, by Manuel Akanji in a deep position. And the ball goes out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for Manchester United midway inside the Manchester United half of the field. And Manchester United, for this first half so far, have really struggled to get out of their own half and create anything at the other end. Here's Lisandro Martinez. He goes all the way back to Andre Onana as Erling Haaland clashes there with Harry Maguire, and the referee has just stopped play for a moment. Harry Maguire is still down. I'm not sure if it's a head injury. We'll take a look at this again. Lisandro Martinez played the ball back to Harry Maguire. Oh, yes, there was a clash there. Erling Haaland got right up, but Harry Maguire is still down, and it looks like, yes, right into the face there of Harry Maguire. That couldn't have felt good. He's back up on his feet now, Harry Maguire, and he's a tough man. He'll play on. Erling Haaland also. Those two are going to be an interesting competition between those two today. And as Andre Onana is going to be given the ball, and Manchester United will resume from the back. This ball is held up here. Haaland there. Well, he's already amongst the top 10 goal scorers in Manchester City's history. It's incredible to imagine just what a ratio this man has had in his first few seasons with Manchester City. Andre Onana's ball is long and out of play. over the head of Marcus Rashford, and it's going to be a throw-in for Manchester City. And it's picked up by Ruben Diaz just outside his own penalty area. Diaz gives the ball to Gvardiol. Gvardiol drops it back to Ederson inside the Manchester City goal, and he goes long, left-footed, looking for Jeremy Doku. With him is Diogo Dalot, who clears the ball into the Manchester City half. Going up to try to win that ball was Bruno Fernandes, but it was won comfortably by O'Reilly. And the ball is picked up here by Akanji. He gives the ball to Rico Lewis. Rico Lewis holds the ball up. He's got Oscar Bob making a run, but he decides to go back to Manuel Akanji, who in turn goes back to the goalkeeper, Ederson. Ederson lifts the ball forward to Rico Lewis, who heads it on. It's comfortably won back by Martinez, and it's now with Kobbie Mainoo. Kobbie Mainoo drops the ball back into his own half here to the centre-back, Harry Maguire, the England international. Of course, it's played across there to Lisandro Martinez. Closing him down there was Oscar Bob, but Martinez takes a safe route back to Johnny Evans. And Evans plays the ball across there to Casemiro. Casemiro to Harry Maguire, and back to Johnny Evans, who goes back to the goalkeeper. And right now, we really haven't seen much attacking flair really from either side, with Manchester City pressing Manchester United in their own half, but we haven't really seen them create any chances so far. Here's Jeremy Doku. Doku is fouled that time by Diogo Dalot, and it's going to be a free kick almost on the halfway line for Manchester City. It's taken quickly. And here's Gvardiol. Gvardiol across to Manuel Akanji. Over the halfway line goes Akanji now. He's got Oscar Bob down the right-hand side. Great ball to Oscar Bob. Lisandro Martinez approaching him. Bob plays it back there to Akanji, and back into the centre circle here to Ruben Diaz. Diaz drops it back there to Gvardiol. Gvardiol across to Jeremy Doku. Oh, skips away from Diogo Dalot there. And now here's a chance for Doku. Left-hand side, gets into the penalty area. Doku skips past Maguire, gets across it, and it's just over the head of Nico O'Reilly. And that was the first real opportunity created for Manchester City. Here's Manuel Akanji to Oscar Bob. Bob skips the ball across there to Rico Lewis. Back to Bob. Here's O'Reilly. O'Reilly holds the ball up. He thought about launching it into the penalty area. Chose better of it. Here's Gvardiol. Across there to Jeremy Doku, who once again now has Diogo Dalot in front of him. It's dropped back to Gvardiol. Gvardiol to... that's a crunching challenge there on Doku. And picked up again by Diaz. And it's now with James McAtee. He fouled there. The referee said no, play on. Or maybe he's played in advantage. It's played down the right-hand side to Bob. Bob holds the ball up. Back towards Manuel Akanji. Manuel Akanji lifts the ball forward to Oscar Bob, but it's just too far away from the Norwegian, and it just goes behind for a goal kick. And you look at this, a beautiful move by Jeremy Doku. Plays the ball through the legs of Diogo Dalot, skips away from Harry Maguire, but the cross is just not close enough to Nico O'Reilly. And we just got a brief glance there of what Jeremy Doku can do in full flight. Goal kick to be taken by Andre Onana. And here is Harry Maguire. He plays it off Erling Haaland, and it goes out for a throw-in. And it's going to be a free kick, a throw-in for Manchester United, midway inside their own half, and it's going to be Diogo Dalot that takes it. Dalot just launching the ball forward here and headed on. Picked up by Doku. Doku tries to lay the ball back to McAtee, but Manchester United win the ball back, and in turn they're giving away again as McAtee just trying to fight the ball and win the ball back, but unfortunately for Manchester City it breaks loose to Dalot, and he plays it back to Onana, and Onana clears the ball left-footed downfield, looking for the chasing Bruno Fernandes, but Manuel Akanji will just clear that up and play the ball back to the goalkeeper, Ederson, and it's Manchester City 0, Manchester United 0. 19 and a half minutes gone here at Wembley Stadium in the 2024 Community Shield. And here is Manuel Akanji. Akanji plays the ball long. Oh, is looking for that one is James McAtee over on the left-hand side. That's a really good ball. And McAtee's got space in front of him now. Diallo in front of him gives the ball to Doku. Doku slips the ball back there to Diaz. Diaz again. Good ball across here to Rico Lewis. Lewis gives the ball to O'Reilly. O'Reilly drops the ball back there to Akanji. And across there to Kovacic. Kovacic across to Gvardiol. Gvardiol just holds the ball up and plays the ball to Ruben Diaz. Diaz, oh, nice pass. And here is Rico Lewis. Lewis now, space in front of him. Rico Lewis skips into the penalty area completely unchallenged. And he gets across to Haaland. And Haaland tries to pull it in the middle with Onana well out of position. But in the end, Diogo Dalot just clears the ball out of play. And just for a second, Manchester City have broken down the Manchester United defence again. If we just take a look at this, the Manchester United defence just not getting close enough there as Oscar Bob just skips away now again and skips inside 3 Manchester United players. And the challenge eventually was by Johnny Evans and he was fouled. Rico Lewis to Kovacic to Akanji. And here's Diaz. Diaz plays the ball across to Gvardiol. Picked up by McAtee. McAtee turned brilliantly and finds Kovacic. That's a great ball by Kovacic to Bob down the right-hand side. He's got Martinez in front of him. He skips away from Martinez because Bob gets his shot away and blazes it over the crossbar. But what a chance that was for Oscar Bob as he shows once again his brilliance down that right-hand side. Skipping away from Lisandro Martinez, creating the space for him to get that shot away. Evans, he beat Evans with relative ease, but he got under the ball and it went over the crossbar. But what an opportunity as you look at Pep Guardiola. Also, tell that he thought that was definitely a chance, but it goes over the crossbar. So the early chances fall into Manchester City in this game. Andre Onana plays the ball to Lisandro Martinez, to Harry Maguire, who plays the ball forward there. It's brought down by Mason Mount, but Mount is dispossessed easily, and Kovacic plays the ball forward to O'Reilly. O'Reilly tries to play through Erling Haaland, but it's away from the Norwegian hitman and goes straight through to the goalkeeper, Andre Onana. Excuse me. Well, Manchester City putting on all the pressure early on here. They've created 1 or 2 opportunities, caused some panic in the Manchester United defence, but not really caused Andre Onana to make any saves yet. Manchester United at the moment really haven't created much. They've been under pressure for much of this first half. But in the cup final, we saw Manchester United come out victorious, so you can never rule out Manchester United. The ball is played forward there to Rashford and goes all the way back to Harry Maguire, and he gives the ball to Lisandro Martinez. Martinez holds the ball up. And Martinez almost gave the ball away to Oscar Bob there. He was fortunate the ball bounced back to him. He goes back to Onana, and Onana lifts it over Oscar Bob and gives it to Martinez. But Martinez gives the ball away again, and it's a chance now for McAtee. Oh, it hits the post. Oh, Martinez's error gave the ball away to McAtee, and McAtee's shot curled away from Andre Onana and struck the post. And all of a sudden, Manchester City are really going for the jugular right now. And I have to say, Manchester United's defence is at 6s and 7s at the moment. Here is Oscar Bob. He's got Martinez in front of him again. Oscar Bob has been quite brilliant down that right-hand side so far. Akanji plays the ball into the centre circle to Ruben Diaz. Diaz plays the ball back into the centre circle. Almost on the halfway line there is Ruben Diaz. And Josko Gvardiol plays the ball forward, looking for Jeremy Doku. Doku's got space inside the penalty area again. He tries to squeeze inside Maguire and Dalot then, but they both squeezed him out of the play. And in the end, it's a foul by McAtee on Casemiro, and it's going to be a free kick to Manchester United. But look at this terrible giveaway by Lisandro Martinez. It was then helped on by Bob, and the curling shot by James McAtee had Andre Onana beaten all ends up, and it hit the inside of the post and bounced out. And Manchester United get away with one there. Here's Johnny Evans. Evans He returns it back to Andre Onana. And back to Harry Maguire. Maguire gives the ball to Evans again. And so the best chance of the game so far has fallen to Manchester City. And it hit the post. But there's still plenty of time in this game for all of that to change and for Manchester United to try to create something and get back in it as the ball goes behind for a goal kick. Well, just looking at some of the Manchester United senior executives there, they don't look particularly happy with what they're seeing. Some of the ownership there, shareholders, directors, not looking particularly pleased. For Manchester United, I think they really, really need to try to put some pressure on Manchester City a little bit. Maybe try to bring Kobbie Mainoo into the game. And here is Mainoo now as I speak. He's got Nico O'Reilly all around him. He just drops the ball back there to Harry Maguire. Excuse me. To Kobbie Mainoo. And the ball is played forward there to Diallo. It's back with Casemiro. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Here's Marcus Rashford. Plays the ball long. It's a good ball to Fernandes, who flicks the ball on. And here goes Diallo, and cutting back there, making the interception, is Josko Gvardiol. He gets it back to the goalkeeper. And Manchester United can now come again. And here is, on the ball here is Johnny Evans, rather. He gives the ball to Casemiro. Goes all the way back there to Harry Maguire. Across to Lisandro Martinez. And gives the ball to Kobbie Mainoo. Mainoo just plays the ball to Evans again. Picking up there is Rashford. And he just gives the ball to Casemiro. Casemiro drops the ball back to Johnny Evans as Manchester United enjoying a spell of possession now. Harry Maguire plays the ball to Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes just plays it back off Nico O'Reilly. And Manchester City win the ball back as Kovacic nicks in and gives the ball back to the goalkeeper. And that's cleared out by Ederson. He was perhaps looking for Gvardiol, but it goes over his head and out for a throw-in. And now Manchester United have an opportunity here midway inside the Manchester City half. As we take a look there at Ruud van Nistelrooy, turned down the manager's job at Burnley to be part of the coaching staff here at Manchester United. And here is Rashford. And Mainoo fights to win the ball back, but Manchester City come forward now. And it's Nico O'Reilly storming over the halfway line. Good work by him, but Bruno Fernandes dispossesses him, and Manchester United coming forward now. There's 4 up there at the moment with Marcus Rashford. He has the ball right now. Rashford plays the ball across to Casemiro. Gives the ball there to Dalla. Dalla plays the ball over to Mainoo. Down the right-hand side, Kobbie Mainoo. He's got Gvardiol in front of him. Mainoo skips into the penalty area and gets a shot away, and it's just wide. And that is a really, really good effort. Just skittled into the penalty area there, and I must apologise, that wasn't Mainoo, that was Amad Diallo. Just skipped inside Doku and Gvardiol and just created that opportunity to curl the shot away from Ederson, but it was also away from Ederson's right-hand post. And, excuse me, it went behind for a goal kick. And Manchester City, they'll be happy, I think, with the start that they made in this game in the first half as we hit the 29-minute mark. At Wembley, it's Manchester City 0, Manchester United 0, and the ball is played forward to Erling Haaland. And Haaland just nips in and tries to keep possession of the ball, but he only ends up breaking it loose to Maguire. And here's Lisandro Martinez, midway inside his own half of the field. Drops the ball back here to Johnny Evans. Evans releases it there to Lisandro Martinez. The ball is flicked on there, and it's picked up by Manuel Akanji, who goes all the way back to the goalkeeper. Excuse me. And the ball is across to Josko Gvardiol. Gvardiol drops the ball back here Cross there to Ruben Diaz, and now here is Rico Lewis. Lewis holds the ball up and plays the ball over the halfway line, looking for Oscar Bob, and back to Lewis. And now here's Manuel Akanji. Akanji across there to Gvardiol. That's a really good ball by Gvardiol. Down the left-hand side now to Jeremy Doku. Doku has got Ahmad and Diallo Ahmad and Dallo in front of him. He drops the ball back there to Gvardiol again. Infield here now to Ruben Diaz. And here's Manuel Akanji as Manchester City got everyone inside the Manchester United half. Here's Diaz across the ball to Doku. Doku has got Dallo in front of him again. Doku plays it. Oh, he almost found Erling Haaland, but it was cleared away in the end by Johnny Evans. And it goes back into the Manchester City half, picked up by Josko Gvardiol, who once again gives the ball to Doku. And across now to Diallo. Diallo pulled back to. Here's a chance for Diallo, and he's played it across. And there's not able to reach it there with Bruno Fernandes. But that was Manchester United's best chance by a country mile. He just pulled the ball across there to Diallo. Diallo found space in the penalty area and pulled it across. And cutting in there was Mason Mount, and he wasn't able to get the final touch. And it's Manchester City 0, Manchester United 0. But that was Manchester United's best opportunity in this first half, in a first half really where there hasn't been many opportunities for Manchester United, but they were not able to capitalise on that one. Johnny Evans now gives the ball to Harry Maguire. Maguire across there to Evans, and Evans goes back to the goalkeeper, Andre Onana. Onana gives the ball to Johnny Evans. Evans plays the ball across to Harry Maguire. Maguire. Ball goes to Diogo Dalla, and Dalla just gives the ball back to the goalkeeper, and it's cleared downfield and picked up by Ruben Diaz. And turned away there from Josko Gvardiol. He had his shirt pulled by Diallo there, and it's going to be a free kick to Manchester City. As we take a look at this opportunity again, it's a perfect ball through as well by Casemiro that set Diallo off on his way. The ball was played early though, and chasing it was Mason Mount, who was not able to get there. And I think Diallo regrets placing that ball early. He had a little bit more time than he realised. But nevertheless, it's still 0-0, and it's now with Ruben Diaz. Ruben Diaz, long ball over, looking for Jeremy Doku, and the ball goes out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in to Manchester United. And, well, it's picked up here. And here's Casemiro in the midfield. Gives the ball down the left-hand side to Rashford. Rashford cuts inside. Gives the ball to Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes with a shot. And it hits Ruben Diaz square in the face. And he goes down for a moment, and the referee stops play. And at half-time, we will have the scores from Championship and League Two. Nick will give you those, and the League One latest scores as well. But at the moment, we've got a player down, and that is Ruben Diaz, who's just about got himself to his feet now. And Ruben Diaz just takes a drink, just gets his legs back underneath him, taking that ball in the face square from the shot from Bruno Fernandes. Certainly wouldn't have felt very good. Ederson just holds up the ball, and he's got the ball at his feet. He just picks it up, and he's going to perhaps go for the long throw here. He does. He finds James McAtee. McAtee drops the ball back here to Gvardiol. Josko Gvardiol has got options on the left and the right. He decides to go back to Ruben Diaz again. Diaz gives the ball back to Gvardiol. 10 minutes to go till half-time. It's Manchester City 0, Manchester United 0. Both sides having opportunities, perhaps Manchester City having the better of the chances and the better of the pressing and possession than Manchester United so far, but both sides have had the chance to give themselves the lead as Johnny Evans picks up the ball and he goes all the way back to the goalkeeper, who releases it to Harry Maguire. Maguire holds up the ball now and gives the ball there to Johnny Evans. Evans just plays the ball infield to Kobbie Mainoo. Mainoo picks up the ball again. Oh, it's a good ball infield here to Mason Mount, excuse me. And it's Diallo again now coming forward, causing some difficulty for that Manchester City defence. He gives the ball to Dalot, and it's now back with Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes to Diallo. Back to Fernandes again. Casemiro, good ball to Mason Mount. And it comes back, comes back to Casemiro, and here's a real opportunity for Rashford. And he pulls it wide. What a chance for Marcus Rashford. That may very well be the best chance of the half so far. This was a brilliant move by Manchester United. Casemiro, once again in the heart of it. He played a beautiful pass to Rashford, who had a clear one-on-one shot at Ederson, and he pulls it well wide. He'll be disappointed with that. But what an opportunity for Manchester United to give themselves the lead before half-time. But the finish wasn't the best that time. And as time ticks down in this first half, one person we haven't seen a lot of is the referee, Jared Gillett. I think he's officiated this game rather well. Here also today is Lee Carsley, the interim coach for England during the Nations League while they search for a more permanent replacement. As the ball comes off Oscar Bob and goes out of play for a throw-in. Actually came off a Manchester United player last. And the throw-in is taken quickly, and it goes back to Ederson. And Ederson releases it to Josko Gvardiol. Gvardiol plays the ball forward. That's a good challenge by Mason Mount. And here's Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes plays the ball forward, but it goes behind for a goal kick. And with 8 minutes to go until half-time, both sides deadlocked at nil apiece. Remember, if it finishes a draw after 90 minutes, this Manchester derby will be settled by penalties. And Manchester City, well, they've in their pre-season, they've played 4 pre-season games. They've lost them all, one of them 4-1 on penalties, with the exception of a 4-2 victory over Chelsea. Manchester City have... Manchester United also been busy over in America. They've lost 3-0 to Liverpool. They beat Betis 3-2, lost 2-1 to Arsenal, beat Rangers 2-0, but lost to Rosenborg away 1-0. So pre-season usually doesn't have, in my opinion, really doesn't have much to really give you in terms of how the season is going to progress. But Manchester United will certainly be looking for something better than last season. Here's Diaz. Diaz plays the ball to Kovacic. Kovacic to Manuel Akanji. To Rico Lewis. Lewis plays the ball back to Akanji. And back to the goalkeeper. And Ederson just holds the ball up. Just gives the ball to Ruben Diaz there. And Diaz now drops the ball back to the goalkeeper, who releases it to Manuel Akanji. And Rico Lewis tries to play the ball forward. It's picked up by Haaland. He drops the ball to Nico O'Reilly. O'Reilly just trying to skip away there from Casemiro. But Casemiro's challenge put the ball out of play. And it's going to be a throw-in to Manchester City as we take a look at Nico O'Reilly. Really done very well on his debut for Manchester City. He's performed very well in this first half, in my opinion. As here is O'Reilly. Gives the ball to Gvardiol. Across to Jeremy Doku. Down the left-hand side. Plays the ball to James McAtee. McAtee cuts inside. Now he's got a bit of space in front of him. He just flicks the ball back to Doku. Doku's got Diallo and Casemiro around him. Played through to McAtee. Back to Doku. Doku controls the ball well. Gives the ball now to Gvardiol. Patient build-up by City again. And it's Rico Lewis back to Gvardiol. Gvardiol gives the ball back to Diaz, and now who releases the ball to Jeremy Doku. Well, that's a good ball by Doku, sending off McAtee on his way. James McAtee now holds the ball up. Pulled the ball back to Rico Lewis. Rico Lewis skips in the penalty area, gets the cross in, but Harry Maguire just blocks that and clears the ball away. As once again, Manchester City break down the Manchester United defence with relative ease there. And with 5 minutes to go until half-time, and there's been a stoppage in play here. I'm not sure what the stoppage is for, but there has been a stoppage in play. And as we tick down now towards the half-time break, as skipping away there was Rico Lewis away from Kobe Mainoo, pulls the cross in. It's a good block there by Harry Maguire. But Manchester United, once again, struggling down with the players down the flanks here. Oscar Bob and Jeremy Doku. Casemiro is the one that's down. He's just getting a drink of water now. And hopefully he'll be back on his feet in no time. Pep Guardiola taking time to have a tactics meeting. And just see there. We take a look at still waiting for him to get back on his feet. Half time, we'll go through the scores with you for the league games today. And we'll see whether any surprises as the Football League kicked off today. As we just take a look here at Pep Guardiola, this still down is Casemiro, as Pep Guardiola just going over with his team. They've got they're linked with one or two players in this transfer window as well, Manchester City. Julian Alvarez is also one of the he's not in the squad at all today. He's linked with Atletico Madrid. It's suggested that is 86% done. Edison, the goalkeeper, also may be on his way, but he plays today. And Andre Lunin and Michael are looking at bringing players in for Manchester City. Some of the players they've lost this summer, of course, Taylor Harwood-Bellis has joined Southampton for 23 million euros. Sergio Gomez has gone to Real Sociedad for 9 million euros. Tommy Doyle for 5 million euros has gone to Wolves. So we're about to get the game back underway. Stoppage there of about 3 or 4 minutes. And we'll just wait to see how Jared Gillett just gets this back underway now. Gillett just holds the ball there. We're just waiting now at the moment as Manchester United will want to get Casemiro back on as soon as possible. The game is back underway now, and it's with Oscar Bob. Oscar Bob drops the ball back into his own half of the field, and it's picked up by Akanji. Akanji gives the ball to Kovacic. Kovacic to Oscar Bob. Bob holds the ball up with Akanji. Oh, and he's dispossessed there. And, he almost gave the ball away, Akanji there, but Kovacic nips in and wins it back. And Kovacic with an inspired run forward now. Kovacic plays the ball across to Doku. Manchester City. And Doku gets inside the penalty area, cutting away from Diallo with a shot, and it just whistles by Onana's goal. And he's claiming it came off Diallo and went wide. Let's just take a look at this. As it actually might have come off Diallo. Yes, in fact, I think it did. He has a right for a claim there as Doku, but he's not going to get it on this occasion. And it's behind for a goal kick. As once again, Jeremy Doku causing all kinds of problems in the Manchester United defence. And the ball is now given back to Andre Onana. And Onana clears the ball right-footed downfield. It's brought down with his chest by Rashford, but he's fouled by Rico Lewis. And it's going to be a free kick, as he was grabbing on there was Rico Lewis. And Kovacic just debating with the referee. and Jared Gillett telling him it's a free kick and to leave it alone. And the free kick is going to be taken by Bruno Fernandes as we approach stoppage time at the end of this first half. It's still 0-0. And I suspect we'll probably get about 5 minutes stoppage time. Certainly there was about 3 for Casemiro's injury. And it's Bruno Fernandes launching it long and hooked into the penalty area there by Kobbie Mainoo. But it's over the crossbar and behind for a goal kick. I'm just waiting to see what kind of stoppage time we have at the end of this first half. We've not got an announcement on that yet. But it is a goal kick now to Manchester City, which Ederson takes quickly. And Ederson releases it to Kovacic. Kovacic gives the ball back there to Ruben Diaz. Diaz holds the ball up and gives the ball back to Kovacic, and he gets it back from Diaz. And there's been an announcement of only 2 minutes stoppage time. Well, that's a very conservative amount considering Casemiro's injury was at least 3 minutes. But 2 minutes it is anyway from our fourth official today, which is Sam Barrett. And throw in taken quickly by Diogo Dalla, and he drops it back to Harry Maguire. And Maguire gives the ball now to Casemiro. Casemiro plays the ball forward there and back to Diallo. Diallo plays the ball back into his own half of the field. And Harry Maguire plays the ball across to Casemiro. Back to Maguire again. And Maguire just drops the ball back to Andre Onana. And Onana just taking his time with the ball now and gives it to Lisandro Martinez. And the ball is played across to Harry Maguire. He's looking for in the midfield there for Mason Mount, but he was not able to keep control over that ball and it goes out of play. The throw-in is taken quickly by Josko Gvardiol. And here's Ruben Diaz. Diaz plays the ball across to Manuel Akanji. Akanji back to Diaz. Diaz goes back to the goalkeeper. And the goalkeeper, Ederson, just clears the ball long. And he was probably looking for James McAtee, but the ball goes out of play. And it's going to be a throw-in as we approach the minimum amount of stoppage time of 2 minutes. And it's thrown back to Harry Maguire. So half-time break coming up. We'll have Nick in the studio giving the scores from the league games today as Jared Gillett blows for half-time right on the 2 minute mark. And at half-time it is Manchester City 0, Manchester United 0. James McAtee hitting the post. Marcus Rashford with a golden opportunity that he curled wide. Despite the chances for both teams, it is still 0-0 at the break in the 2024 Community Shield. Back to you, Nick.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Paul. You go and have yourself a bit of a break right now. I'm gonna read you through the halftime scores of League League Two. In just a moment or two. But first up, the confirmed results of the Championship. Cardiff City 0, Sunderland 2, Hull City 1, Bristol City 1, Leeds United 3, Portsmouth 3, Middlesbrough 1, Swansea City 0, Millwall 2, Watford 3, Oxford United 2, Norwich City 0, Queen's Park Rangers 1, West Bromwich Albion 3, and finally Stoke City 1, Coventry City 0. And I have to say that 2-0 win for Oxford, what a way for them to start there. What a way for them to start life in the second tier after being promoted from League One last season. So a really intense first half for both Manchester United and Manchester City. Both had great opportunities in front of goal, but they they missed by several inches, including especially the one by McAtee or Rashford, which just went past the post. We're still the halftime scores for the for League Two are still halftime scores for League Two are still trickling in now. Most of them appear to be going on for half time right about now. But one thing I should definitely mention is that the League One scores will only the latest League One scores will only be mentioned if the game goes to penalties. But in any case, here's who's playing who. Birmingham City will be at home to Reading. Bristol Rovers take on Northampton Town. Burton Albion against Lincoln City. Then we have Crawley Town against Blackpool. Exeter City host Rotherham United. Leyton Orient are at home to Bolton Wanderers. Peterborough United are against Huddersfield. And Stevenage host Shrewsbury Town. Stockport County were promoted from League Two last season. They take on Cambridge United. And Wigan Athletic host Charlton Athletic. And finally, also promoted from League Two, Wrexham take on Wycombe Wanderers. And all but one of the matches have reached half-time now. So let's just go through. Them right now. So the half-time results for League Two: AFC Wimbledon 3, Colchester United 2, Barrow 1, Crewe Alexandra 0, Cheltenham Town 2, Newport County 2, Doncaster Rovers 1, Accrington Stanley 0, Fleetwood Town 1, Grimsby Town 0, Gillingham 1, Carlisle United 0, Harrogate Town 0, Bromley 0, MK Dons 1, Bradford City 2, Salford City 0, Port Vale 1, Tranmere Rovers 0, Notts County 0, and Walsall against Morecambe still being played on as at the moment. Walsall lead Morecambe by a goal to 0. So now back to the Community Shield and media, radio, jingles and gaming, referring to the League One scores. He says, I can't believe Portsmouth from League One can draw with Leeds. What a shocker indeed. And Portsmouth being promoted from League One last season, to see them drawing with Leeds. Big start for the start of the new championship season. I'd have to say Portsmouth could be one of the teams to look out for in League One. And also a team worth keeping, and also other teams worth keeping an eye on in Leagues 1 and 2. I will mention throughout the course of the season, but one particular team I'm interested in is the National League winners Chesterfield. But back to the here and now. And Paul, a really intense first half, but what a performance from young Oscar Bob. Almost had it in for Manchester City. We appear to have lost Paul for the moment. We'll just wait for him to come back. Seeing as I've got quite a few. We'll just wait for him to come back, seeing as I've got quite a few questions to ask him. But Nico O'Reilly, the young 19-year-old, has also caught my eye, and also performances worth remembering by Marcus Rashford. We should hope to bring Paul back on in just a moment or two. So I'm going to try asking him again. Paul, Oscar Bob, that young man, what a performance. No response. So we're going to go for. We're actually going to go for We're actually going to go for a bit of a break ourselves, but join us before the start of the second half. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Commentary Hub's coverage of the Community Shield between Manchester United and Manchester City. And before we went to a break, I had a couple of questions to ask for Paul. Paul, young Nico O'Reilly, he's impressed me. I think we're going to see more of him this season.
Yeah, I definitely think so. He's been very impressive today. He's looked good on the ball. He's been able to get into the penalty area, create chances. I think he's definitely a player that Manchester City will definitely be looking towards in the future. And yes, we may well see more of him this season for sure.
Indeed, and another player that also caught my eye were Oscar Bob and James McAtee, who was on loan at Sheffield United last season. McAtee came really close with the ball just bouncing off the nets, and Oscar Bob, he was really decent as well.
Well, the two players down the left and the right, Jeremy Doku and Oscar Bob, have both caused Manchester United a number of headaches in the first half. So I suspect that will continue in the second half. I just wonder how Erik ten Hag will react to that situation.
Okay, so we're just about ready for the second half. Paul, back to you.
Thank you very much. We are about to get the second half underway. Manchester City about to get the second half underway. To my knowledge, no substitutions. And Manchester City will kick us off, attacking the goal to our left. James McAtee just plays the ball all the way back to the goalkeeper, Ederson. Ederson now is really far out there. He launches the ball long. And up in the air trying to win that is Erling Haaland. He brings the ball down and it just bounces off the Manchester United midfielder, Kobe Mainoo. And finally, there's a foul committed and Manchester United will have a free kick just on the edge of their own 18-yard box, which Andre Onana will take. And he plays it short there to Harry Maguire. And Maguire just plays it across there to Johnny Evans. And Johnny Evans back to Andre Onana. So Manchester United, I think, are going to have to maybe look at making some changes if the threat of the two wide men continue for them. The ball is played forward by Mainoo to Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes flicks the ball on. It's a really good pass. And here's Marcus Rashford now down the left-hand side. Rashford cuts inside the penalty area. Chance for Rashford. Can he get the cross in? He pulls it back to Kobe Mainoo, but it's a poor ball in the end. And despite the sliding in there of Bruno Fernandes trying to win the ball back, he's not able to find Marcus Rashford again. And it goes behind for a goal kick. Well, it's chances have been created by both teams. It's hard to imagine that both of these teams wouldn't generate a goal or two between them, but that remains to be seen. Ederson plays the ball to Manuel Akanji. Gives the ball to Rico Lewis. Lewis plays it forward there to O'Reilly. O'Reilly goes down under the challenge from Casemiro there. And it'll be a free kick to Manchester City. Casemiro just letting the young man know that he's there. And here is Josko Gvardiol. Gvardiol plays the ball to Jeremy Doku down the left-hand side. James McAtee overlapping Doku. Drops the ball back here to Gvardiol. Gvardiol to McAtee. McAtee to Kovacic and back to Gvardiol, who goes all the way back to Ruben Diaz. And Diaz in turn goes back to the goalkeeper. And Diaz now closing in is Bruno Fernandes. It's good work by the Ruben Diaz there. Just gives the ball back to the goalie. Here's Rico Lewis. Rico Lewis now cuts in towards the middle. He's still inside his own half. Good ball by Rico Lewis. Finds Josko Gvardiol down the left. Gvardiol over the halfway line to James McAtee. McAtee drops it back into his own half to Ruben Diaz. Here's Manuel Akanji now for Manchester City. Manuel Akanji, and the ball goes all the way back to the goalkeeper here, Ederson. He's just sort of taking his time, just pulls the ball away from Fernandes and gives it to Manuel Akanji. Akanji plays the ball forward. Oh, it's a poor ball to Kobe Mainoo. And now here's Johnny Evans. And Manchester United now with Mason Mount. Mason Mount, is he fouled there? He somehow maintains possession, and here's Rashford, back to Mount, back to Rashford and Mainu. And Rashford now, Fernandez now just plays the ball back to the number 5 there, Harry Maguire. It's down to Diallo, who gives the ball back to Dallo. And now here's Johnny Evans. He goes all the way back to the goalkeeper as we've had 4 minutes gone in the second half. And it's Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0 at Wembley Stadium in the traditional curtain raiser for the new season. And one has to say that the season we're in for this season, with a lot of teams really bulking up their ranks, as there's a long ball there played by Johnny Evans, but it's over everybody's head and it ends up almost by the corner flag. But Johnny picking it up there is Ederson, and it goes back to the goalkeeper. Ederson releases the ball now to Ruben Diaz. Ruben Diaz gives the ball there to Kovacic. Kovacic to McAtee. McAtee to Gvardiol, and back to the goalkeeper. Ederson just pulls the ball back there. It's a quick 1-2 with Ruben Diaz. And the ball is played long here. It's flipped on the It's won by Harry Maguire. And here is O'Reilly. O'Reilly runs it too close to Fernandez, but it's won back here by McAtee. McAtee, that's a good challenge by Diogo Dallo on the edge of his own penalty area. And the ball is played into the centre circle, and going down is Mason Mount, and he wins a free kick for the foul by Ruben Diaz. As Mason Mount now just on his haunches there. Let's take a look. The pass from Casemiro, and he just nips it in front of Ruben Diaz, and Ruben Diaz's challenge is late. No question, that's a free kick to Manchester United. And the free kick is inside the centre circle. And Casemiro is going to take it. Substitutes being prepared right now by Manchester City. And we'll just see who is going to be coming on in just a few moments. There's certainly some action taking place on that Manchester City bench. Here's Onana now. He's got the ball, and he's just outside his own penalty area. He's got Erling Haaland lurking. Onana just plays it short to Harry Maguire. Maguire plays it forward there to Mason Mount. Mason Mount down the left-hand side towards Marcus Rashford, but he was never going to get there, and the ball goes out for a throw-in as once again the attack breaks down for Manchester United. And it's now picked up by Kovacic. Kovacic plays the ball forward to Lewis. Lewis is ball forward looking for Doku. Is a poor one, and it's won back by Dallo, but his ball forward was equally as bad. And now City can come forward again. Here is Doku inside the penalty area, left-hand side. Doku cuts inside. Oh, good challenge by Casemiro. And now here's Fernandez. Better ball that time by Fernandez. Can Rashford get on the end of it? No, he cannot. Cutting across there is Manuel Akanji, and Manchester City once again win the ball back as we are still 0-0 here, as Ruben Diaz gives the ball to Manuel Akanji. Akanji plays the ball into the middle to Erling Haaland. Haaland drops the ball back to Manuel Akanji. Akanji just gives the ball there to Ruben Diaz. Diaz drops the ball back to the goalkeeper there, Ederson, and Ederson plays it long. It's flicked on and out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in. It's now to Manchester United. It's about 15 yards inside their own half of the field. It's taken quickly that time by Bruno Fernandes, and it goes back to Johnny Evans, who gives it back to the goalkeeper, Andre Onana. Second half has started very, what I might call very carefully between both sides. Neither side taking too much of a risk, but here's a ball forward now, and onside is Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes gets a shot away. Oh, I say, that is absolutely magnificent. And it looks like it might have been, it's been disallowed. But what a chance by what a strike by Bruno Fernandes. That really would have been absolutely one of the goals of the season. And I have to be honest, he looks onside to me. Oh, no, wait a moment. He might not be. Let's have a look at this. Well, there was no chance for the goalkeeper, but I'll just have to have a look at this again. He may be offside, actually. I think he is offside. I'd have to look at it again, but at this particular point, what a strike that was. And Fernandes cannot believe it, but offside he was. And it's a free kick to Manchester United, to Manchester City. What an opportunity that was for Fernandes. What a strike. That really would have been a goal of the season contender. Here's Ruben Diaz and Manuel Akanji. It goes out of play and it's going to be a throw into Manchester City. If you get the opportunity to look at the highlights tonight and you see that strike, oh my goodness me, it is worth the investment of your time. Here's Manuel Akanji. Gives the ball there to O'Reilly. O'Reilly back to Akanji. Gives the ball back to Ederson. Ederson clears the ball upfield and it's headed down there by Casemiro. Diallo just challenging Doku. He gets away there, does Diallo, or he thought he did. He actually breaks loose now to McAtee. And now here's O'Reilly. City breaking forward in numbers. Forward is Erling Haaland. He's got Doku alongside him. He tries to play the ball through to O'Reilly. It breaks loose to McAtee with a shot, but it's well wide. And just way away there. And behind for a goal kick. You can see here, it just broke loose. Skewed wide, really. Disappointing for McAtee. It's a goal kick for Manchester United. 10 minutes gone in this second half. And it is Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0. It's back with Andre Onana. Onana plays the ball there to Casemiro. Casemiro's ball was short and Kovacic nipped in and won the ball back. And here's Doku again now. Edge of the penalty area for Manchester City. Doku, is he fouled there? Jared Gillett says no, and Manchester United can now come forward. Here is Marcus Rashford. In front of him is Rico Lewis. Rashford just pulls back and gives the ball to Bruno Fernandes. Great ball by Fernandes to Diallo. He just dropped right at his feet. Diallo gets into the penalty area now. He pulls the ball back and it's cleared away, I think, by Rico Lewis. And it's now with Harry Maguire, who gives the ball back to Diallo again down the right-hand side. Here's Mainu. Fernandes gets across him, but nobody is taking the gamble. And it's just headed behind that time by Nico O'Reilly. And it's going to be a corner to Manchester United. And nobody really taking the gamble. And I'm really surprised that Rashford had not made his way in there, given him being really an out-and-out striker. And it was just headed behind. And we have a corner now with 57 minutes gone. And Manchester United, well, he's had the ball in the net once already in a most stupendous strike. Now have to see if they can do it again. The corner looks like it's going to be taken by Mason Mount down that left-hand side. Or is it? It's Fernandes. Fernandes swings the ball in. It's headed on by Harry Maguire. Comes out to the edge of the area to Mason Mount. Mason Mount swings the ball in. Headed on by Maguire. And then again headed out by Manuel Akanji. But the referee has seen something there. An offside. And it's going to be a free kick to Manchester City. And, well, it's there's 4 substitutes coming on for Manchester United now. So what's just coming on here is Collier, number 17, Alejandro Garnacho. I'm coming off is Diallo here by the looks of it. So Diallo is off. McTominay is coming on. And I'm just trying to see who the other one is. It's number 28, Facundo Pellistri. So 4 changes, and I'm just going to try to get you who the players are that have come off. Diallo is one of them. And the other is Mason Mount. So he's come off. And I'm just trying to find out who the other one is. Harry Maguire has come off. I'm just trying to see who the fourth substitute is. We'll get that information for you as soon as we can. Oh, here we go. Amad Diallo, Mason Mount, Kobe Mainu, and Harry Maguire are off. And on is Toby Collier, Alejandro Garnacho, Scott McTominay, and Facundo Pellistri have come on with 4 substitutes all at once for Manchester United. As on the ball now is O'Reilly. O'Reilly skips away there from Casemiro, no mean feat, but he loses control of the ball and it's just cleared away and picked up there by Casemiro. It's dropped back to Martinez. Martinez to Collier. Back to Collier again. And he goes back to the goalkeeper. And Manchester United, by the looks of it, not willing to risk too much for the start of the season. Of course, 1 week away. And here is Martinez now. He gives the ball to Johnny Evans. It seems that Martinez now has moved into a centre-back position along with Johnny Evans. And perhaps to offer free at the back for Manchester United, with Diogo Dalla being the other centre-back there, as all these guys that have come on, they're all midfielders. As here is Andre Onana. Onana clears the ball downfield. It's brought under control by Garnacho. Garnacho plays the ball forward there to Casemiro. It's across to Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes tries to set off Garnacho on his way. He tries to pull the cross in, but that's good work by Rico Lewis at the back. Defends that very, very well. Plays the ball forward to O'Reilly, who returns it back to Lewis. And it's now with Ederson. Ederson releases the ball there to Gvardiol, who gives the ball back to the goalkeeper. And, well, it's with Ruben Diaz now, who gives the ball forward there, picked up by Kovacic under pressure from Marcus Rashford. Kovacic gives the ball there to the defender there, Manuel Akanji. It's Rico Lewis now. Back to Manuel Akanji. Akanji's got time and space in front of him. It's now with Ruben Diaz. Gives the ball to Josko Gvardiol. Gvardiol drops the ball back to Diaz. And across there to Akanji. Akanji plays the ball long. Oh, it's a really good ball there. And here's Jeremy Doku. Doku cuts inside now, tries to get to the byline. And Doku just drops the ball back to Gvardiol. So far, no goals yet. Still deadlock, nil apiece. Oh, good work by Doku. Skips into the penalty area past Pellistri. And it's dropped back to McAtee. Back now to O'Reilly. O'Reilly in the penalty area to Gvardiol. Gvardiol with a shot. Oh, and it's just wide. And Gvardiol there just pulls the shot just wide. And you can see here, just curled away there from Onana, but I really felt Onana had the ball covered and goes wide.
Sorry, we appear to have lost Paul. His mic appears to have been disconnected. A couple of substitutes going on for Manchester City right about now, as McAtee could well be coming off, but definitely coming off is Doku, and he makes way for one of the substitutions, as Nico O'Reilly and Jeremy Doku come off, and taking their places are Mateus Nunes and the new signing Savinho. So throw into Manchester City already. And the ball is now being thrown to ball now being thrown to, I think that's the Manchester City captain. And now the ball is with it's in Harper Mo while I try and make sense of the team sheets. I really do apologize. I really do apologize for all this. I really do. But we do hope to have Paul back on with us very soon. And it's still 0-0 between Manchester United and Manchester City now. In the 60 minutes, and the ball has just gone out, and the ball has just gone over the line for the gone over the Manchester United goal. That was the ball being played by the number 17, Alejandro Garnacho, and blocked. And I think the ball must have been deflected away by I think that might have been. I think that was number 20 by Savinho. Ball now back with Manchester City. It's now with Savinho, or is that Nunes? No, it is Matheus Nunes. The ball is he has just passed to Savinho. Savinho back towards Nunes, but kept out by Facundo Pellistri, and we're still waiting for Paul Stewart to come back. He still has problems as it's now a corner to Manchester City to be taken by Savinho. Savinho strikes the ball into the 18-yard box. Ball being headed to and fro, but it's still kept out, and the ball has now been picked up by, I think that might have been Nunes. Now it goes back towards Savinho, but still on the run with the ball is Manchester United. Picked up by Garnacho and I think he might have fouled the number 8, Mateo Kovacic. The referee comes over to assess the situation, but nothing given very much. So it's Nunes. But it's been kept away, and Manchester United's number 6 sends it all away. We've not, and we appear to have got Paul back. So Paul, back over to you. Or rather, we haven't. I am really sorry about this. I really am. But I will try to. But being that I'm now thrown at the deep end, I really will have to do my best to keep you all in. I'm really going to have to do my best to keep you all informed. And I think down was Scott McTominay, free kick to Manchester City. Matheus Nunes having a bit of an argument by the looks of it with the referee. And he's been given a yellow card. Not surprising, really. But free kick to Manchester United it is. So the ball being passed around by Pellistri, I should say, to Johnny Evans. Johnny Evans to Diogo Dalot. It's Dalot this time to, I think that might have been Lisandro Martinez. Now the ball has made its way to Diogo Dalot, but concedes to Manchester City. Now it's with Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland passing to passing to Savinho. and Paul can now hear us. So back over to him.
All right, thanks very much. I appreciate that. Okay, so sorry about that, everyone. Technical gremlins, start of the season, all sorts of fun, but it's a throw into Manchester United. It's going to be Diogo Dalot that is going to take this throw in, and it's dropped to Casemiro. Casemiro holds the ball up and gives the ball back to Andre Onana in the Manchester United goal. So here is Facundo Pellistri to Garnacho. Played forward there, and it's long, and here's a chance now for Bruno Fernandes. He's in! Oh, and he strikes a shot early, but it's a good save in the end by Ederson. And here now is Gvardiol. Gvardiol gives the ball there to the number 27 for Manchester City. And it's played forward now to the new signing, Savio. Savio, coming across with a challenge is Lisandro Martinez, a crunching challenge. They welcome to the Premier League, I guess. But look at this. Crunching challenge. That was actually on Mateo Nunez, and he won the ball. The ball was it was a fair win of the ball. It was a fair challenge, but it was a crunching challenge. And it's going to be a corner which Savinio will take. And he is going to outswing this one. He's a new signing for Manchester City. Oh, it comes in, and the header was there. And it was Manuel Akanji with a free header. And he heads it over the crossbar, but it may have come off another Manchester United player. And it's going to be another corner to Manchester City, which Savinio once again will take. We've got 20 minutes to go here. It's Manchester City 0, Manchester United 0. And it's... I can see the corner is now going to be taken by Savinio down the left-hand side. It's looking like another outswinger. And just headed away that time. I think Pellistri got on the end of that. Rico Lewis launched it back towards Savinio. Savinio just brings it down, but there's a City player down in the penalty area. And I just can't quite see who that is. It might be Gvardiol, but he looks in a lot of discomfort there. He's now being helped up by Onana and Lisandro Martinez. And Erling Haaland coming across to make sure that he's okay as well. So Gvardiol back on his feet, and we can get the game back underway as we take a look at Pep Guardiola. As you see here that Collier is just being given some advice by manager Erik ten Hag. So Manchester United fans just in front of that touchline. Quiet at the moment, a little bit apprehensive perhaps. Is Casemiro played forward, but Collier not able to get there. And in fact, Rico Lewis wins it. Gives it to Oscar Bob. Back to McAtee. Back to Bob. Here's a chance now for Bob again. And it's McAtee again. Tries to turn in the penalty area, but he runs into Lisandro Martinez. And now Casemiro plays the ball forward. And going across there is Garnacho, but cutting back well with the challenges, the City captain Ruben Diaz, as we have got 18 minutes left on the clock here, as we are edging closer to a penalty shootout to settle this Community Shield today. It is over on the far side there is Rico Lewis, or I should say rather Nico O'Reilly, and or is it? No, it is Lewis, I should say. And it goes out of play anyway. Lewis was not able to keep the ball in play, and it's a throw into Manchester United. It's Ruud van Nistelrooy there alongside Erik ten Hag, just going over some ideas. And here is picked up by Mateus Nunes, but Mateus Nunes is alleged to have fouled the Brazilian holding midfielder Casemiro. And as we look again at the Manchester United bench, Just looking at what options are available here. But the free kick is going to be taken by Lisandro Martinez, and it goes all the way back to the goalkeeper and cleared forward, looking for Pellistri, but nipping in and winning that ball very well with Savinho, but he almost gave the ball away there. And finally, Mateus Nunes has to come back and just get in the way of that and play it all the way back to the goalkeeper. Is Manuel Akanji. Akanji just drops the ball back to Ruben Diaz. Diaz, that's a good ball to Gavardio. Gavardio is just played forward there for Nunes again, and the ball goes out of play. It's going to be a throw into Manchester City as we are heading towards the last third of this game. And in about 10 to 15 minutes' time, I will be looking at naming my player of the match for this game. And the ball is thrown long there. He was looking for Savinho, but now here is Casemiro. And the ball is played forward here. Garnacho is in. And chasing there is Rashford. Real chance. Oh, hits the post by Marcus Rashford. Oh, what an opportunity. And once again, Manchester United come close. This time they hit the woodwork. And you could see here it was a brilliant pass forward to Garnacho. Garnacho sees the overlapping run by Marcus Rashford. He hits it first time, comfortably beating Ederson, but he hits the outside of the post. And Manchester City, well, they'll breathe a sigh of relief, but, Rashford has got to think he's got to put that away. That is a real opportunity for Manchester United. And it's going to be a goal kick to Manchester City as that ball hit the outside of the post and went wide. So it's launched downfield by Ederson. It's won in the air by Evans. The ball is dropped to Mateus Nunes and he holds the ball up. Tries to play the ball back there to Gavardio. Really played the man into trouble there. And finally, James McAtee comes back and clears up and drops the ball back to the goalkeeper, Ederson again. Ederson releases the ball to Akanji one more time. Akanji tries to play the ball forward, but Casemiro nips in and wins the ball back, but gives the ball away again. And Manuel Akanji plays the ball downfield. But it gets away from Erling Haaland, and Johnny Evans just comes in and sends the ball back to Andre Onana. And here's Pellistri, Collier, and Johnny Evans now. Evans just holds the ball up. He's got Scott McTominay alongside him. Gives the ball back to Collier. Collier just holds the ball up and drops it back there to the number 35, Evans. And now the ball is played forward by Diogo Dalla, looking for Marcus Rashford, but Rashford was not able to keep that ball in play. And it's going to be a throw-in to Manchester City. As once again, we take another look at Erik ten Hag, Pep Guardiola, looking calm and relaxed so far. And the throw-in is going to be taken by Rico Lewis. Lewis throws the ball back to Manuel Akanji, who in turn goes back to Ederson. 13 minutes left here. It's Manchester City 0, Manchester United 0 in the traditional curtain raiser for the new season. And next weekend, Premier League action returns. We've got a couple of games for you on Sunday. And the ball is played forward now, looking for the number 26, Savinho. Savinho joining Manchester City from Troyes for 25 million euros. He's looked fairly impressive since coming on for Manchester City in this second half. Could be a threat to some Premier League defences, I should suspect. And here's Evans now with the free kick. And it's played across there to Diogo Dalla. Collier just turns away from Kovacic and plays the ball down the left-hand side to Marcus Rashford. Rashford launches the ball over to the right-hand side to Garnacho. Garnacho Oh, he cuts towards the centre, does Garnacho. Is he going to try to strike? He does. It's blocked. And it will go behind for a corner. It looks like the block was by Kovacic. And it's going to be a corner to Manchester United. And corner is going to be taken by Fernandes. And it's going to be swung in. And the Manchester City backline has got their entire backline almost inside that 6-yard box. It's swung in, and the header is on by Fernandes. Oh, Scott McTominay nearly got on the end of that, but it was just headed wide by Marcus Rashford. And, Scott McTominay not able to get on the end of that, just wasn't quite sharp enough. The header by Rashford, McTominay would have been onside, but he just wasn't able to get his foot on the end of that to divert it past Ederson. And it goes behind, and it is a goal kick to Manchester City. Scott McTominay, he is back on today. Mike Harneman says, sorry, I couldn't be alongside you in the end. PS, still no news. Does it go straight to penalty or extra time and then penalties? Actually, Mike, it just goes straight to penalties, I believe, on the Community Shield. Sorry to hear about that. I hope everything works out for you, Mike. Here's Manuel Akanji and gives the ball to Rico Lewis. Rico Lewis plays the ball forward, and it's Diogo Dalla. Oh, he's dispossessed his Dalla. And now Manchester City storming forward now with Nunes. And it's a great ball now to Savinho. Savinho just gets away from two Manchester United players, drops the ball back to Rico Lewis. And the ball is it's now with Oscar Bob. And Oscar Bob just drops the ball back there to Akanji. Oscar Bob again, as Manchester City is looking to try to get the victory here. Kovacic, I think the one goal may well be enough in this game. And here's Nunes. Nunes, is he pushed over that time by Facundo Pellistri? He was. It's going to be a free kick to Manchester City. And here's Gvardiol. Gvardiol drops the ball back there to the number 3, Mateus Nunes. And here's Manuel Akanji. It's now back with Nunes. Back to Akanji. And the ball played forward to Mateus Nunes. And Nunes loses it to Collier. And now Facundo Pellistri coming forward. And Manchester United now starting to look a bit more brighter here. Here's Garnacho now. Cuts inside. Can he get the shot away? Garnacho! There it is! It's 1-0 to Manchester United. And it's a substitute, Alejandro Garnacho, on 81 minutes. Gives Manchester United the 1-goal lead with 9 minutes to go in the Community Shield. And what a strike, as Manchester United, sort of in the last 10 or 15 minutes, have started to look the better team. And Garnacho puts the period on it with the strike. And it started with Nunes being dispossessed, and Facundo Pellistri played the ball across to Rashford. Rashford to Garnacho. Garnacho cut away from Ruben Diaz and got the strike away. And it was enough. That was beautifully put into the corner on the left-hand corner of the goal for looking at it from Ederson's side. But it just put it away neatly, and there was no chance for the goalkeeper. And Manchester United take the 1-goal lead and are looking to be heading towards taking the Charity Shield, or the Community Shield as it's more known. Manchester United, this would be their 22nd Community Shield. City have won it 6 times, of course. But Garnacho's goal with 8 minutes to go may just be enough here. City are going to get the game back underway, as Manchester United have just made another substitution. Jadon Sancho has just come on, and I'm just trying to see who that is for. But we'll get that information for you in a minute. But Jadon Sancho has come on. And here is Kovacic, and it's actually Marcus Rashford that has come on for Jadon Sancho. So Rashford is off, Sancho is on, completing the 5 substitutes for Manchester United. And it goes all the way back to Andre Onana. Onana just holds the ball up and clears the ball downfield. And winning that ball is Kovacic, who just heads it on, and it was headed back into Manchester City's own half of the field by Mateus Nunes. Here's Kovacic now. Kovacic goes for the long ball forward to Oscar Bob. Oscar Bob just holds the ball up. It's good play by him. And he drops the ball there to Akanji. Manuel Akanji gives the ball to Mateo Kovacic. And he holds the ball up here. Gives a really good ball there to Savinho. Savinho just trying to find Nunes again, but Manchester United on the break with McTominay. Gives the ball to Garnacho. And Garnacho just he's dispossessed there now. And here is Gvardiol. Silvinho alongside him. The two get confused and the ball ends up in possession of Alejandro Garnacho. And all of a sudden Garnacho goes down from the challenge there of Bernardo Silva. And a yellow card is going to be issued here as well. And I think the yellow card is not going to go to Bernardo Silva. It's going to go to Garnacho. Or is it going to go to Bernardo Silva? It is. Bernardo Silva gets a yellow card. He's only just come on. And we'll just see. I'll try and find out who Bernardo Silva replaced. That information for you now. And Manchester United so far with a 1-goal lead with 5 minutes to go. So we'll just take a look and see who the substitute was that caught on Bernardo Silva. James McAtee was the guy that went off for Bernardo Silva. So that's the 3rd substitute by Manchester City. And here is the number 24, Josko Gvardiol. Gvardiol gives the ball there to Silvinho. And skipping away is Mateus Nunes. Nunes just tries to drop the ball back, but Scott McTominay is going to get there before Kovacic, and he runs the ball out of play. And it's going to be a throw-in, and the throw-in is taken quickly by Gvardiol to Silvinho. Silvinho drops the ball back there, looking for the number. Oh, that was looking for Silvinho. Sorry, that was Nunes that dropped it back to Silvinho. And he clashes with Facundo Pellistri, and it's going to be a free kick here to Manchester City. And we are sort of now within the last 3.5 minutes of this game. And I will just give my player of the match to our host and producer, Nick. So I will be prepared to announce that in just about 2 or 3 minutes' time. As the ball goes long and goes out of play for a throw-in to Manchester City. It came off the corner flag and went on the throwing side, taken from entirely the wrong position here by Bernardo Silva. And going down under the challenge there, Silva now picks up the ball and gives it back to Akanji. Akanji plays the ball long, and chasing this one down is Rico Lewis on the far side, but he's not able to keep it in play. And it goes behind. It goes out for a throw-in. As you could taking a look there at Pep Guardiola, who looks very frustrated now. The Manchester City fans just watching on. It's never pleasant to lose to your local rival, even in a game like this. Here's Casemiro, played forward to Collier now. Collier for Manchester United. They've just looked the better team in the last 20 minutes or so. And here is Pellistri. Pellistri to Garnacho. Garnacho drops the ball back there to Pellistri. Gives the ball back to the goalkeeper, Andre Onana. And Onana clears it right-footed downfield. Just getting underneath that is Gvardiol. Gvardiol plays the ball forward there looking for Silvinho. Silvinho plays the ball to Manuel Akanji just over the halfway line. And here's Rico Lewis now down the right-hand side. Rico Lewis cutting inside, drops the ball back there. Again, Rico Lewis to Oscar Bob. And now, here's Oscar Bob. Oscar Bob turns really well. Gets the cross in, and it's a goal! It's Bernardo Silva! Oh, a free header! Excuse me. Bernardo Silva, excuse me, heads the ball in, and it's 1-1 on 88 minutes. And it looks like we are heading to penalties. But Bernardo Silva's header gets the equaliser for Manchester City. And it just seemed to come out of nowhere. Manchester United's defence falling asleep here. The cross by Oscar Bob towards the back post, and the header was turned in by Bernardo Silva away from Andre Onana, who was left rooted to the spot. It's 1-1 with 2 minutes to go. And, well, Oscar Bob creating that equaliser. He's been fantastic today. What we'll do here, we'll give the player of the match in just a few moments here. But Manchester United will get the game back underway, and all of a sudden there's 3 substitutes coming up for Manchester City as they prepare for a penalty shootout. Kevin De Bruyne being one, and coming off is Oscar Bob. So De Bruyne is on. And I think there's a couple more coming up as well. And Nathan Ake is on. And we're just trying to see who it is for Nathan Ake. But Bernardo Silva's equaliser on 89 minutes is the difference here, as Facundo Pellistri is brought down by Silvinho. So that wraps up the 5 substitutes for Manchester City. We'll just get who the other substitute is. It's Josko Gvardiol. So Gvardiol and Bob are off for De Bruyne and Nathan Ake. And we're about ready to name our player of the match. And our player of the match today, I am giving it to Manchester City's number 52, Oscar Bob, who's been absolutely brilliant today. But first, in a moment here, the cross coming in by Garnacho towards the back post to Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes just holds the ball up. Back again to Fernandes. Fernandes swings it in, and it's finally cleared away. So Oscar Bob is the player of the match today, as sponsored by Commentary Services. Manchester City's number 52. He's just been so threatening down that right-hand side for most of the game and created the equalising goal for Bernardo Silva. We are into 5 minutes of stoppage time now, and Nathan Ake is going to take the throw-in. Both sides use their full accumulated amount of substitutes, as penalties will decide this match if we don't get a winner within the next 3.5 minutes. And here's Akanji, gives the ball to De Bruyne. De Bruyne, his pass was a poor one, and it's cleared away by Evans, and chasing this one down is Garnacho. But Nathan Ake may very well just go back to his goalkeeper. He's under pressure, and he handled the ball without a free kick being given. And now Manchester United have a free kick on the corner of the penalty area, down the right-hand side, just a few yards in from the touchline. And that was careless from Nathan Ake. He really would have been much easier just to have gone back to the goalkeeper, but he didn't do that, and it's going to be a free kick now for Manchester United in a pretty dangerous position for the Reds, the Devils, as it's Bruno Fernandes who's going to swing this one in. And swings this one in. It's headed out there by Mateo Kovacic. As it goes all the way into the Manchester United half. Facundo Pellistri returns it back to the goalkeeper, and it's played long downfield. And looking to pick this one up is Jadon Sancho, but the ball goes out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in as we are edging closer and closer to a penalty shootout here. as Manchester United. Here is Akanji. Akanji drops the ball back to the goalkeeper. And Akanji plays the ball to Nathan Ake. Nathan Ake just plays the ball there to Ruben Diaz. Diaz holds the ball up. Back to the goalkeeper there, Ederson. And he gives the ball to Manuel Akanji. It's forward to Mateo Kovacic, who skips away in the midfield. That's a really good pass by Kovacic to Silvinho. City looking to win it in regulation. Silvinho plays the ball across there to Kovacic. Kovacic back to Rico Lewis, to Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne swings it in, but Onana just gets down to that one and plucks it out of the air. And it is now held by Onana. And, well, it's he's just taking his time at this point. I don't think he intends to really do anything else at the moment, just to play down time to perhaps get to the penalty kick stage. We'll see whether Manchester United or Manchester City, let's see how good they are holding their nerve from the spot. But here is Ruben Diaz. He plays the ball back to the goalkeeper, and it's with the goalkeeper there, Ederson. And now here is Oscar Bob, played infield to De Bruyne, but it's nipped back and won back by Jadon Sancho, and that's it. We are indeed going to penalties, and Manchester United, well, it's for them, it's going to be a challenging time for them, as they've played the full 90 minutes, and I just wonder whether they've got the players on the pitch to win this game on a penalty shootout, but we'll see. It's full time here at Wembley, and penalties are to follow. We're going to hand you back to Nick.
Thanks, Paul. So we go to penalties. The first time of asking in the Community Shield. The League Two matches are currently being drawn to a close. So we should have the full time results coming in very, very soon. But that was quite an intense couple of minutes in the second half. And for both Garnacho and Bernardo Silva, this goes to show that this rivalry between these two sides will just run and run and run. So now we prepare. So and Paul, we thought that it was going, and Paul, we thought it was going to go, and Paul, we thought that after that Garnacho goal that Manchester United had this one in the bag, but Bernardo Silva said otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, it was a late goal, and one Manchester United will be kicking themselves over because it was poor defending in the end, and I have to say, Manchester United had the game won at that time. They were essentially, in my opinion, the better team for that period of time, and they were looking like that they were going to hold on to the victory, but they just fell asleep at the back. And Bernardo Silva, we all know how dangerous he can be. He just put his header into the back of the net, and we've got penalties.
Yep, indeed, and. Yeah, indeed. The latest, and so we can now bring you the latest from. We can now bring you the latest from League Two. No, actually, we won't. We're about just a couple of minutes from. We're about just a couple of minutes from penalties. So let's And we're just about a couple of minutes away from penalties. So let's hand you over back to Paul James.
Thanks very much. I appreciate that, Nick. And, well, we can see the goalkeepers there, Onana and Bruno Fernandes, as we wait to get this penalty shootout underway. And it's Bruno Fernandes who's now the referee, Gerald Gillett, just having a word with Ederson. Looks like it's going to be Bruno Fernandes to take the first penalty. And it's going to be at the end where the Manchester United fans are, I think. Manchester United fans behind that goal. The referee having a word with both goalkeepers just to set the expectations. And let's see now if Manchester City or Manchester United here. Let's see who has the bottle, who has the nerve to hold on. Bruno Fernandes, we know he's a pretty consistent penalty taker. We'll see how he gets on with this first penalty up against Ederson. And he's standing on the ball, standing there. Ederson is on his line now. Bruno Fernandes steps up, does a little stutter and sends Ederson the wrong way. And Manchester United take the 1-goal lead in the penalty shootout. And there it is, just sent the goalkeeper the wrong way, the little stutter step. And it is 1-0 to Manchester United. And coming up for Manchester City now is Bernardo Silva, the goal scorer for Manchester City, who got the last-minute equaliser. He is going to step up now for Manchester City. Let's see if he can score. Bernardo Silva steps up against Andre Onana. And saved by Onana! Onana went to the left-hand side and made the save. And it's first blood to Manchester United. Bernardo Silva went to Onana's left-hand side. I don't think he got enough power or direction on it. It wasn't close enough to the corner. It was a decent height for the goalkeeper as well. So Andre Onana makes the first save. Stepping up now for Manchester United is Diogo Dalla. And he will take this one. Diogo Dalla takes his run up. And he's going to see if he can get a goal here now. Diogo Dalla steps up. Oh, he just squeezes it in past Ederson, who went the right way. He was very unlucky, the Brazilian. He went the right way, but the power was enough to take it past him. He got a hand to it there, but was not able to keep it out. And Manchester United take the 2-goal lead in the shootout. And stepping up now is Kevin De Bruyne. And let's see if he can get Manchester City on the board here. If he misses now, then Manchester City are in real trouble. He's definitely going to want to be putting this one away. De Bruyne steps up and sends Onana the wrong way. And Manchester City have put away their second penalty. So it's now 2-1 to Manchester United. And, well, just sent the goalkeeper the wrong way. Now, who's coming up for Manchester United? It is Alejandro Garnacho, the goal scorer for Manchester United. And he is now going to step forward. And up against the Brazilian, Ederson. Garnacho, still very young, steps up to take this penalty. Slow run up, and he sends Ederson the wrong way. That was a really good penalty. Sends Ederson the wrong way. He goes to his left as Ederson. Garnacho sends it to his right. Lots of power behind that. And it's 3-1 to Manchester United. And let's see, it's Erling Haaland stepping up now with penalty number 3 for Manchester City. It's hard to imagine that he would miss, but You never know. Penalty competitions are just that. They require nerve and they require composure. Now let's see. Erling Haaland steps up now. Just takes a deep breath. Obviously, he needs to score. Because if not, Manchester United can take the next penalty and win. Here's Erling Haaland and sends Onana the wrong way. Onana goes to the left. Haaland goes to the right. And it's now 3-2 to Manchester United. That was a very, very cool and composed penalty, despite Onana trying to wind him up, offering him the left side. And he went the other side. And I suppose that should have been a little bit predictable. But here's Jadon Sancho now for Manchester United. Jadon Sancho stepping up. If he scores now, it means Manchester City will need to score the next one. But he steps up now, does Jadon Sancho, to make it 4-2. Ederson just dancing on the line. Sancho takes a penalty. It's a save, actually, by Ederson. Ederson got the touch on it and pushed it onto the inside of the post while it rolled across the line. And that nearly went in anyway. But let's have a look there. Yes, a save by Ederson onto the post, onto his left-hand side, and it just rolled across the face of the goal and didn't go in. And now the next penalty is going to be taken. And we're just going to see who that is in just a moment. Okay. And we just... I've just got some technical difficulties at the worst possible time. And the penalty is put in. I just got back to see it sent Onana the wrong way. I'm just not sure who it was that took that. It looked like, it was Silvinho. So Silvinho took the penalty, sent the goalkeeper the wrong way. Onana went to the left, Silvinho went to the right. And he scores. And now Casemiro steps up for Manchester United with the fifth, as we are essentially in sudden death. It is 3-3 for either 3-3. Casemiro with the fifth penalty for Manchester United. If he scores, that really puts the pressure on. Casemiro steps up and sends Ederson the wrong way. Ederson went to the right. Casemiro went to the left. And he puts it into the corner. I'm just showing his experience there. That was a very sure penalty. And now the fifth penalty for Manchester City, and he must score. We're just going to take a look and see who it is here in just a moment. It's Ederson. Ederson steps up with penalty number 5 against Onana. Goalkeeper against goalkeeper. Ederson steps up. And oh, what a beautiful penalty. Perhaps one of the best penalties that we've seen today as we go to sudden death. It is Ederson. He just sends the goalkeeper the wrong way and puts it into the corner, left-hand corner. But what was a good penalty by Ederson as we now go into sudden death. And it's going to be Scott McTominay with the penalty. As he sets up now to take this one. And he puts it away. And the first penalty of sudden death. Ederson went the right way, but he drilled it into the right-hand corner. And the goalkeeper gets his hands to it. But here we are now in sudden death. And Scott McTominay has scored. And coming up now for Manchester City. Just can't quite see who that is. And so, well, it's yes, it's Mateus Nunes stepping up now for Manchester City. And he steps up, takes his time, and against Onana, and he drills it into the top right corner. No chance for Onana there. Absolutely none whatsoever. It was put into the top right corner, and Onana not able to get there, and we are at 5 apiece now. Stepping up for Manchester United is Lisandro Martinez, and the penalties for both sides have been pretty magnificent so far. Lisandro Martinez now steps up against Ederson. Both of these in the Lisandro Martinez steps up and sends Ederson the wrong way. Just did a little stutter there, Martinez, and drills it into the left-hand corner, and the goalkeeper going the other way. And it's going to now be Manchester City as it's 6-5. And it is going to be the captain, Ruben Diaz, for Manchester City. Well, he's had a really good game today as Ruben Diaz. Can he cap it off by scoring a penalty goal here as well? This remains to be seen, of course, but we'll see now as Diaz steps up. And, it was another calm, cool and collected penalty. Ruben Diaz sends Onana the wrong way, again to the left-hand side. Onana goes to the right. And now it is time for the 8th penalty. And it is the evergreen Manchester United defender, Johnny Evans, stepping up now as he will take the next penalty. As we are at 6 apiece. And it is penalty number 8. Johnny Evans will step up. And he misses. Johnny Evans balloons it over the crossbar. He holds his head in his hands. Johnny Evans, the ball was lifted over the crossbar. And, it's unfortunate for him. He's an experienced player. He's had a good career, and he's always been a good servant to whoever he's played for. But he balloons it over the crossbar, and now stepping up to take the penalty is Manuel Akanji. And Manchester United require heroics now from Andre Onana, or Manchester City will win the Charity Shield if Akanji can score here. Akanji steps up and he drills it into the net, and Manchester City are the 2024 Charity Shield winners, and they celebrate. And, it's taken 8 penalties from either side, but Manchester City have got the job done, winning on penalties by 7 goals, winning on penalties 7-6. And, what a performance by Manchester City. They'll be very happy with that. But Manchester United, they'll feel like they've grabbed defeat from the jaws of victory. And in the end, for them, it has been a very disappointing day. And Manchester City will celebrate now to lift the Charity Shield. But Nick, I'm going to hand back to you. In the end, City got the job done.
They did indeed. Thanks, Paul. And so before we talk further about the penalties and indeed the trophy list, we can now bring you the final results from League 2. AFC Wimbledon 4, Colchester United 2, Barrow 1, Crewe Alexandra 0, Cheltenham Town 3, Newport County 2, Doncaster Rovers 4, Accrington Stanley 1, Fleetwood Town 1, Grimsby Town 0, Gillingham 4, Carlisle United 1, Harrogate Town 0, Bromley 2, MK Dons 1, Bradford City 2, Salford City 0, Port Vale 2, Tranmere Rovers 0, Notts County 0, and finally Walsall 1, Morecambe 0. So what a really intense penalty shootout, and it looked as though Manchester United were in control for the early part of this one, they missed at the crucial moment when it mattered. Manchester City capitalised, and from there they could just do no wrong. And Paul, and as Paul said, he said that they snatched victory right at the last moment when it mattered. And one thing I should also mention is that in recent years, winners of the Community Shield haven't gone on to win the Premier League title. So Paul, could this be a bad omen for Manchester City going forward?
No, I don't think so. They've got the best team in the league, in my opinion. They'll probably go on to win it again this year because there's nobody, in my opinion, that remotely matches them on paper. They're just too good. They've got quality. They've got a strong defense. They've got good goalkeeping. They've got creativity all over the park. They've got goal-scoring threat, not just from Haaland, but from Doku, Foden. Look, this went all the way to penalties, and this is nowhere near Manchester City's strongest side. Manchester United put out a very strong side. Manchester City played a lot of youngsters. De Bruyne didn't start. There's no Phil Foden. Jeremy Doku started, but Oscar Bob and Jeremy Doku are generally players that will generally start on the bench. Calvin Phillips was also on the bench. They have the youngsters on the side, Nico O'Reilly, Rico Lewis. Even with that team, they still got to penalties and in the end won the game against Manchester United.
So for Manchester United, we did touch earlier. I did ask earlier whether a good result here would mean something going forward for Erik ten Hag. Now that they've lost, does this mean that his future at Old Trafford is looking less and less likely?
No, not at all. I mean, it's. I think it would be. I mean, in my opinion, the man had done what he could with the squad he had available. That squad has got a lot of problems. There's a lack of cohesion within the Manchester United squad that has been for a while now. They are not working together. They have made some additions. By the looks of it, they're certainly not finished either, by the way. Rumours of Manuel Ugarte, Richard Riaz, Nusa Mazurai from Bayern Munich, Matthias de Ligt, Ivan Toney is also been mentioned. Obviously, Sander Berg from Burnley. You're looking at. I think if Erik ten Hag can get the team that he wants in place, I think Manchester United will do very well. But I think that there are changes that need making in that squad.
Yeah, certainly changes will need to be. Yeah, certainly changes will need to be made. Given that Manchester United will be playing in the Europa League this season, an important competition in itself, as well as the Premier League. Now that Manchester City have won the Community Shield. What does this before the trophy presentation? What does this mean to them? Going forward throughout the rest of the season. Could they perhaps do what no other club has done before and win everything, which they came so close to doing a couple of seasons ago?
Well, I mean, they wouldn't be the only club to do it. They'd be the only club in England to do it, but Bayern Munich did it a few years ago. They certainly are capable of doing it, but it depends on how much investment you want to put into the players that you have in each competition. I mean, do you really want to be playing round 3 of the League Cup with all of your best players, for example? So it's he's a pragmatic manager, is Pep Guardiola. He's going to use what he's got in the best way possible. But I think looking at the squad that they've got on paper, we could be looking at a side here that as an average age, you have to remember this team as an average age, and it's not it's got an average age of 23. 26.5 as an average age. They are still very much in their prime. And as more and more younger players are brought in, you're looking at potentially keeping this side around for a long time. You might have a side here that matches Bayern Munich's record and wins 10 titles in a row. I hope it doesn't come to that. I really do. Because that's not good for the Premier League. It's not good for football if one team is continually dominating all the time. But that is potentially what I think could come of this.
Yes, a very honest opinion there. But if the Premier League does become pretty dull, we know which other divisions to turn to. But I'm trying not to. But I'm trying not to sound too biased. But anyway, Manchester United now making their way up the steps towards the Royal Box to receive their medals. So let's go back over to Paul James for the presentation ceremony.
Thank you, Nick. So Harry Maguire going up there. Scott McTominay, of course, he's rumoured to be on the way to Fulham. There's talk of that. But Bruno Fernandes now leading his team up the stairs of Wembley Stadium to collect their runners-up medals. It's been an effort and a half by Manchester United today to try to turn over Manchester City, and for the most part, of course, they seem to control the game until letting in Bernardo Silva in the last few minutes. As we take a look at a mother and a son, and you can see the son there, he's been crying, and it's always heartbreaking to see your team lose. And as a youngster, I remember shedding more tears than I care to admit when my team lost. So I totally understand that. Here's Bruno Fernandes coming to meet the dignitaries here to collect their medals. And it might be a long season for Manchester United. They'll be looking at potential silverware, perhaps the Europa League, maybe the League Cup, or a repeat of the FA Cup. Medals being handed to the players now rather than put around their neck. I think the runners-up tend to remove the medals once they're put around their neck. So in this case, they seem to have just handed them to the players. There's Collier and Mason Mount will be looking to start more as the season goes on. Kobe Mainoo, Facundo Pellistri, and Alejandro Garnacho, as there is the manager, Erik ten Hag, just shaking the hands of the dignitaries. He gets his medal and a word of commiserations. And Manchester United will just make their way down now, as Manchester City will be next up to claim the Community Shield for 2024. As the season is now underway, with the Football League getting underway this weekend, the Premier League getting underway next Friday, where Manchester United, I think, take on Fulham. And we have a couple of games for you on Sunday as well. Brentford versus Crystal Palace, and I believe Manchester City and Chelsea is also an option as well. So we've got 2 games for you next week. But here is Manchester City now just ready to go up the steps to claim their prize. Pep Guardiola just congratulating his players, having a chat with Manuel Akanji, and Erik ten Hag, commiserations to him and Manchester United today. But it really is City's day today. It wasn't in May in the FA Cup final, but it is today. As we take a look at some of those younger players from Manchester City, Nico O'Reilly, who played very, very well today. And of course, Rico Lewis also. These younger players from Manchester City, James McAtee, all played very, very well for the citizens. And they're getting the word now as Manchester City are now making their way up the stairs and will receive an applaud from the Manchester United players as Pep Guardiola shakes hands with Bruno Fernandes as Manchester United very sportingly giving their rivals a clap of congratulations. As there is Jeremy Doku, dangerous today, played very, very well, really tormented Dalot down that left-hand side as he makes his way up the stairs on Wembley. And just behind him there is Rico Lewis. And leading up the back there is Gvardiol and Erling Haaland, with also Nico O'Reilly there as well. As the fans putting their hands out, hoping to make contact with their heroes. That's really what football is all about. It's all about the fans. It's all about them getting to meet their heroes and congratulating them and being part of this day. As Manchester City now, Silvinho there going up, having a chat there with Ruben Diaz. As there is Josko Gvardiol, Erling Haaland, shaking one or two fans' hands, and Johnny Evans, well, there's a look of chagrin on his face. He doesn't. He's obviously very upset that he missed that penalty. Josko Gvardiol now going up there. The captain is not leading the way, I don't think. That would of course be Ruben Diaz. City going up there. There is Pep Guardiola leading the way, getting congratulations. Behind him is goalkeeper Ederson. And there is Jeremy Doku, Rico Lewis, the number 6 there, Nathan Ake, and our player of the match today, Oscar Bob. There's Stefan Ortega, the substitute goalkeeper that they got free on a free from Leipzig. As there is the trophy, the Charity Shield. The players getting their medals now. Oscar Bob, Ortega getting his medal, and Manchester City there just congratulating each other. They're all gathered together, ready to lift that Community Shield. As Kabore picks up his medal, he was injured today, and Haaland just shaking the hands of the dignitaries. It wasn't much of a threat today, but he scored one of the penalties. As there is Scott Carson just behind him, the 39-year-old goalkeeper. Silvinho there, just getting his medal. And Mateus Nunes, who did a really good job helping City to get back in the game when he came on as a substitute. Leading up the back line there is Ruben Diaz, the captain. And finally, it's not quite sure who that is at the back, but yes, it's Mateo Kovacic. Bernardo Silva and Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne now took over the captaincy when he came on, so actually he is the one that is going to lift this Community Shield. Well, they are there on the landing, and Kevin De Bruyne, in May, Manchester was red. In August, Manchester is blue, as Kevin De Bruyne lifts the 2024 Community Shield for Manchester City. Their first trophy of the season, and they can celebrate now as they hand it over to Ruben Diaz and over to Manuel Akanji as he lifts the shield above his head. And well, it's passed on to Jeremy Doku, who lifts it up, celebrating as it's passed along the line. But Kevin De Bruyne there just lifting the Charity Shield above his head. And what a moment for Manchester City, turning away that disappointment, Nick, of May into their first trophy of the season here at Wembley Stadium in August. And back to you, Nick.
Yes, thanks, Paul. Manchester City certainly overcame the disappointment of losing in May to win the FA Cup. That wraps up our coverage of the Community Shield on the Commentary Hub, and as Paul mentioned, we do have a couple of games coming up. We do have a game coming tomorrow, and that is of course in the Championship. There'll be coverage of Sheffield Wednesday against Plymouth Argyle on the Commentary Hub tomorrow. I will be commentating on that one, and alongside me will be Russ Vernon. We've also got a first round match coming up on Tuesday in the Carabao Cup. It's Bromley against AFC Wimbledon. How will the National League playoff winners fare in their first competitive cup as an EFL club? Join me on Tuesday to find out. And on Friday, we have action in the Championship between Coventry City and Oxford United, with myself as a commentator also. And on the 8th, and Paul is right. On Sunday, the 18th of August, it is. On the 18th of August, our first Premier League match of the season. It is Brentford against Crystal Palace, with Paul James as commentator, and I will be presenting that one. And we've also got two straight matches, and we've also got another one, which Paul said was possibly an option. Chelsea against Manchester City with Russ Vernon, and then Leicester against Tottenham with Russ Vernon also on Monday. If anyone has missed any matches, let me know. Actually, there is also a possibility that Russ may well be doing Luton Town against Burnley on Monday. So wherever you are, do please join us for those games. That's it from us. That's it from the Community Shield. Thanks very much to our commentator Paul James for bringing us his own unique take on the game, despite all those technical issues, which once again I do apologise for, and I just hope we don't have them as often during the season. Thanks very much for your company. I've been Nicholas Jones. Have a great evening, and we'll see you tomorrow for Sheffield Wednesday against Plymouth. Until then, goodbye.